guys, welcome to our WrestleSlam podcast special. We're at the famous Macau Casino here in Cork for a special RCW. It is this week. It is going to debut in the KINO CORK. We're looking forward to an incredible night. I'm joined by Jerm, Matt. Of course, Phil is on camera. He'll be doing the show later on, and we're joined by Billy Bedlam, the man himself. One of the greatest entrances in all of wrestling entertainment, and one of the greatest wrestlers on the Irish scene for sure. Now, first of all,
thanks, man.
You look fresh, you look like you're not stressed. November 5th is upon us. It's this Saturday. KINO CORK. How's things?
It crept up alright. Like, I mean, it was a couple of weeks ago somebody said, you know, your show's in 3 weeks' time. It's like, because for me it felt like it was way down the line, you know, or way down the track. But now I feel good by it. It's I'm really looking forward to it. Everything in the run up, the preparation's gone really well. Ticket sales have gone really well. It just feels easy. It feels easy. It was nice to reset and kind of relaunch a wrestling company in Cork, and I'm buzzing for it, really, yeah, fairness.
Now we have to talk, look, like, not that I promoted wrestling, but over the years I remember doing stuff, and it takes its toll. Look, you're organising matches, people don't realise what goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot, and it takes a lot out of someone, so that reset button's obviously important, and look, it's going to be a good thing moving forward.
100%. I mean, reset and rest, and just mentally to kind of put things into perspective, I think is very important. And I know it might have been a short time between Phoenix and RCW, but for me it just felt like years, because it was nothing but thinking about it for pretty intensely for that period of time. So I'm just delighted to get to once I've a special song lined up to launch the show on Saturday, and once you hear that drop, you know what I'm talking about. I'm getting goosebumps there now, and it'll be like, all right, this is what we're doing. Yeah.
I love it. And look, we're lucky enough now on Twitter the last few days to see a couple of matches announced. But obviously, look, Anita Vaughan's going to play a big part. The Saviour of Destinies. There's a lot of stuff happening. So, what's it like being putting the first few matches together so far?
It was easy enough, to be fair, because I was. I'm going to be doing Grand Prix tournaments for a while, because I like that feel of it, and just putting it together with Raven Creed and Matt Schuyler and CBL, who I think is going to be really big in Cork, and Reardon O'Connor. It was easy to fill those spots. Anita Vaughan, Savers, they're Cork through and through, you know, and
shop local.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're Cork through and through. I know they're dubs, but they're Cork through and through in my book. And G Money, who's really exciting wrestler to have on the card. He makes the show better. He get eyes on us as well. I think he'll be great. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Booker G.
Well, like you mentioned in the build-up to coming back to the ground, you're going to hopefully pass on the actual promotion to upcomers.
Yeah.
Is there other people in the background now at this time, or are there other people helping you book this show, or is it?
No, I like the first one I'm doing myself. I don't want to put any pressure on anybody else unnecessarily. But it didn't seem like there was any pressure for this. But over the next 12 months, you'll see more prominent figures coming from an organisation and all that kind of stuff. But the first time out and probably the second time out, maybe I'm a control freak, but I kind of know how it's done, and I don't want to put unnecessary pressure. I just want people to go out there and have a great night, wrestle their fucking hearts out, enjoy the crowd, everyone like yourselves be there, and just put on a good show, and I look after everything else in the background for now.
Excellent.
Yeah. And I'm not wrestling either, just so.
Not
this time around. Not this time around. I'm not in good shape at the moment. I've hurt my arm, and we have a few stomach issues. But I am back training, and my aim is to wrestle in our second show, which I will announce tonight, is on the 4th of February in the KINO. So that'll be our second show, Saturday the 4th of February. And we're planning a Good Friday show as well after that, but I don't have the dates. Well, obviously the date is Good Friday, but I don't have the venue booked on that yet. So it's exciting times.
And you're mentioning Luke coming back doing commentary.
Very excited to have Luke involved from a creative perspective, from a production perspective. There's no pressure on him. He's just coming in, and his best work I felt was in CCW. From a production perspective, because there was no pressure on him, and he was helping Lee out, and he did great stuff. Remember Total Armstrongs and all that? That was all him, and all the therapy production. That was all Luke as well. So there was just maybe things didn't. It was different ball game then. I think the pressure maybe was slightly different on him in relation to when being part of a promotion from an ownership perspective. But you know, he's had a good bit of time off as well, and he's buzzing, absolutely buzzing. He's buzzing to link up with Justy as well in commentary.
Justy!
I know, yeah. So I'm interested to see how that works as well. Justy's going to be the host with Luke, and they're brilliant in the background anyway, just bouncing stuff ideas. So having their support as always is great. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a Savage collab as well, Justy. It's that's poetry in emotion. That's Romeo and Juliet, in my opinion.
Yeah. The boys are out there. They hope they don't get too carried away. Forget about what's actually going on. Yeah.
Who's going to be the heel commentator?
I'm sure they'll be just popping each other and popping me and everything. It'll be good.
Bust up the corner.
I think Luke's taking it really seriously, and I think Justy's really looking forward as well. It's something he actually asked me, could he do in Phoenix once he was done kind of with his main event run, and I felt he had a couple more main matches left in him. I still do, but I don't know. He's not tied to that commentary desk. I would imagine you'll see him wrestle in RCW at some point, but for now that's the way we're going to set it up.
Matt Fax, I know you have a couple of questions.
I mean, Cork related questions and whatnot, but we, like Joe said, was we have so many great Irish wrestling companies in the past, including Phoenix that ye all started, and now this can be the first of many RCW shows coming up. I said RCW instead of RCW. Getting the chance ready. What can I say?
Can't wait for that chance.
Yeah. So and with upcoming shows coming up, of course your goal is to have people come down to Cork, and is that the main goal to have? Because I feel like RCW will always be Cork based, in our opinion. Cork has that wrestling company.
Absolutely, and that's why it's Rebel County Wrestling. But one thing we didn't do with Phoenix, we didn't appeal to the wider audience, like family shows and all that kind of stuff. That's something that I want to address. It'll take way more than just putting on one matinee to address that. I mean, that's something that I'll have to really take a look at with the venue and see. I didn't promote it as much. I want to just see how it works and feels. I've done it in the past. We did it in Phoenix and Limerick. We did it in CCWs, and I say we because it was my idea first day. And it can work if it's done properly. But that's one thing. We will never grow our audience for the future if we don't look after it. So I think we need to do that. We need to do it the family audience as well as the adult audience. My goal is still to do Neptune in the next 2 or 3 years. I don't see why we couldn't do it if we build this up right. We already have a great foundation of fan base like yourselves, the media support and whatnot. There's already a good fan base for local wrestlers. Let's elevate it and see where we go.
Definitely. And you say family base, so obviously that's essential in my opinion. I need some front row, by the way, when we're there able to kids. But look,
no problem.
But anyway, it's a big thing, right? Look, as you say, it's over 18s for the adults, and that's our playtime. For the family and kids, look, we know the following in Cork alone for wrestling's youth. So obviously it's a big thing, and it could be a big thing moving forward, providing it all goes well, which it will.
Yeah, it's a different promotion flow, and I got to look at it differently. I mean, the promotion for an adult show is all online. It's all social media. There's not a poster that goes up in Cork, and it hasn't been for quite some time. And we've sold out show after show after show. You're codding yourself if you think I can do that from a family show, because that's the way it works. Yeah. So the hard yards need to be put in, like stuff like this, Red FM, posters constantly, long run up to shows, posters everywhere. It's a hard yards. And you got to look at myself and kind of go, do I have the time, the dedication, the resources to do that? I can't do that on my own. That
it's
definitely.
Yeah, I remember years ago with CCW, just walking through Patrick Street, and the lads would be up by McDonald's there, and then I posted trying to get people to come to the shows. You don't see that anymore.
No, you don't. Well, social media has kind of taken that a little bit away, but I mean, I think that was probably to the extremity. But there's a balancing act. I mean, my goal will be to talk to the venue. We see how Saturday goes. Talk to the venue for KINO and 4 to say, can we do it again? That's the case, promote it differently. But there's the same guys that do Cypress Avenue posters. You don't think that ONR goes around and puts up the posters himself. There's a cost associated to it, and I have to take that as well. But you do that and it's done properly, rather than just asking trainees to do it, which is, you're doing it for nothing as well. And do they really do it to the same level as somebody that you're paying to promote the show? So there's kind of a couple of different aspects to that I'm looking at to see, can we make it successful to broaden the audience.
Visit schools and community centres and stuff.
Everything.
Talk to them.
You kind of have to do it all, you have to do it all. But that's one thing I did with Phoenix. I did it twice. I burnt myself out twice doing it. Too many shows. There's no need for it. We were just chatting earlier on about oversaturation of wrestling maybe at the moment in certain areas. I don't need to do a show every 3 weeks. Neither does Cork. 6-7 weeks is perfect. We do one now, we do one in February, we do one on Good Friday. During the summer it might be slightly different. You might get away with doing an extra 1 or 2, but every 2 months is a good thing to do, because you have that bit of a gap to that.
Yeah.
So you're hungry for it, but it's not too much of a
for the
gap.
next show then.
It's not too much of a gap. Doesn't feel repetitive. We're going again. Is it wrestling again?
Yeah.
Whereas I know we have a core fans that will go to it all the time, but it's the casual fans that go sometimes. They're the ones I really want to hook in and make them like the next people that can't miss stuff,
Yeah.
So there's a lot to think about really when trying to do things a little bit differently to broaden it and build on what we have, because we have a great product. I feel in Cork we have great fan base. How do we expand that now and grow? And that's what RCW is going to be about.
And like I said, it's like RCW. It'll be unreal when you get this in the next episode. I'm not saying if you will, we will, but it will always be Cork based. And we talk about social media, the power of it. Came a long way from handing it out in the middle of the street. Maybe this might even go on the Cork tourism board, because this will be part of Cork. And you never know, there'll be people looking at Cork who are wrestling fans. Like, there's a local wrestling event going on. Let's go down here, and they'll pass it on to their fellow wrestling fans. It's going on to Cork. So, and of course that's the goal: get it more out there. Like,
absolutely. I do think I need to kind of sit down with make out a business plan for next year a bit more, rather than just ad hoc every now and then throw social media, which works to a point, but as to your point, we need to land and expand with this one,
But Billy, you treat it like a full-time job, even though there's so much happening in your life. But is it a case of maybe in 2-3 years it could be a full-time job? Look, you could have.
No.
It's not.
No, I don't think so. Is there more than one wrestling promotion in the country that can be full-time? I don't think so. I mean, I don't, Joe does a great job up in Dublin. Dublin's a massive catchment area.
It's different
ballgame. I mean, we're a local regional promotion. Even going in out Limerick when we were doing that was wear and tear. So no, I don't think so. I don't think I'd want it. I'm happy enough. I'm happy enough with my own job. This is a nice break from the mundane, being being a sales manager in an IT company. This is great. People at work are going, you do what? I'm like, I do this. But no, it's about making it sustainable and growing your product. That's what
essential.
I want to do.
You've learned a lot over the years. There's no doubt. You've definitely been a man to burn yourself out. Look, we've seen what you've done. The hardcore core base of all Cork wrestling, but you've taken all that experience into what you have now, and it's obviously going to help you moving forward.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think I know I said I did it all kind of at this show, but what it's important to me to build a support structure. I don't have a school anymore. I don't have any ties really to anybody. I could book anyone I want to a certain degree, but I want to create that support network between the wrestlers of Cork and the promotion. I think that might have been something we kind of missed in the last 2 years, especially when the school left. Do you know what I mean? Because I kind of still feel I left people down, even though I know I probably didn't. But to me, I still kind of feel I left people down because I lost the school of Cork. That was their place to go wrestle, training and whatnot. And there's not been too many new stars come on from Cork, and we'll never get any more new wrestlers until there is a school in Cork. Maybe down the line at the end of the year, I might be in a position where I could possibly look at maybe even helping out with opening a school in Cork, because we do need that for the scene. If we're going to grow it the way I want to grow it, we have to have our own training school. Especially for the next generation of people to be coming through,
Yeah, because in Cork, we have so many soccer clubs, rugby clubs, GA clubs, but maybe the small amount, I want to be a wrestler, I want to train this one. Is there one in local? So
we all came from day one wrestling training. I remember when Matt Schuyler first started wrestling. I remember when most people started wrestling, because I've been at it a while. But to be fair, I remember Reardon O'Connor. He was the first Phoenix only trainee. I remember when Steve Savage walked in the door for the first day. I remember Butch Armstrong, Mr. Charlie coming in the first day. Where did they come from? They just didn't wander in off the street. It was advertised that there was a training school or there was a beginner's course. No more so than myself. I saw on Facebook Ross Brown was wrestling, and I knew from telly I was there. I was there. What's this about? Because he was on the telly on the
he's in the big leagues now. He is Ross.
What's
he doing now these days?
He's up there. 96 FM through and through. He's doing well. I forgot about Ross Brown.
But that's so
original.
I saw him on Facebook because I knew him from the telly, and I was like, fuck it. Then I found out the school, and I contacted him and Lee at the same time. But I went to Lee's school because he was doing American wrestling, but Ross was training British wrestling. I had no interest in that. So that's just everyone has. But unless there was so there was 2 training schools in Cork at one point. There was none. That kind of has to be remedied, Whether it's me or someone else, but someone has to do it. I think.
Is there anybody in RCW? Any of the lads that you know, or would they be interested in doing that?
I think any of there's I could say 4 or 5 people right off the top of my head that would be well able to run their own training school if they banded together and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of the guys are young. Yeah. From a financial aspect of it, it's a bit of a burden. And from a life aspect of it, a lot of them haven't seen the world. They could go travelling. Do you know what I mean? It's different for me. Like, I'm an old fucker. Like, I've
only
seen,
a baba.
Yeah. What I mean is I'm not going to Australia anytime soon for 12 months. Do you know what I mean? Or Canada for 2 or 3 years. So there's a difference in where I was in my life and where they are theirs for that thing, that kind of thing as well. But yeah, absolutely. There's a number of people I could, off the top of my head, that will be well able.
They're a bit luckier though, because they have, like as you said, no to our generation. Like when we were 20, there was opportunities there, but they're not. They want to explore the way they are now.
Yeah.
Now they're thrown in your face.
Yeah.
And it's people go for it. Like back in that day, like you were 1 in the 5 that would do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so they have serious opportunities. Like.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they do indeed. Yeah, but look, I think the future is really bright. Like in a lot of aspects of Cork wrestling. There's obviously work needs to be done in certain areas, and that's one of them. We need our own facility. I'm sure we will too at some point.
And I remember we spoke, because when we were on the school close down there many it would have been about 2 years ago, we spoke. The pandemic was a tough time.
Jesus,
a lot of shit was happening, but I think obviously wrestling's not recognised as a sport. It's more entertainment based, but surely Micheál Martin, our Taoiseach, or someone along the lines could say, look, we have a facility, it's vacant, look, put in a wrestling school, because first of all, it's keeping kids off the streets.
Yeah.
The click, it's an incredible place to be around, environment-wise. Everyone's on the same page. It's a really good place.
It is.
So surely they should really look at doing something and giving you the keys of a premises and saying, look, here's the funding, go for it. We've seen what you're doing. You're putting on family shows. You're putting on over 18 shows. Yeah. It's a win-win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I the last time we were on 96 FM, when we were actually the ship had left the station at that point, and Jerry Buttermore was looking to talk to me, but at that point I wasn't in a position financially. I'm still not. I'm still paying off the old place, but it takes, the timing needs to be right too. Like, but we don't get anything off the sports culture. We don't get anything off the arts council. I tried to apply for loads of grants during COVID, and sure I got nowhere because we fell in the cracks. But look, that's there and that's then. That was the negative side of it. But we rebuilt tremendously well after COVID with Phoenix. The few shows we did, the Circus Factory shows were phenomenal. Yeah.
Crazy.
Fucking phenomenal. I mean, the pop that we were getting there when the crowd were phenomenal last Christmas. I never experienced anything like it walking out to Zombie that night. Like goosebumps here now. And then our return to the KINO, which we all love as well, during the summer with Scotty Tamati. You've got to pinch yourself too, like at some points, and we did that. Like,
it's come a long way.
Yeah, and it'll go further. So.
Brilliant. Now, we have to mention, look, obviously there's going to be a lot happening. I suppose this year we're lucky enough to have the KINO November 5th. You mentioned in February.
Yeah.
What's the kind of vision? Are you going to try to do, as you said, maybe 5 or 6 a year, and then kind of build up, as in like we call it a pay-per-view. Obviously you have it named. It's going to be. You mentioned Grand Prix. Yeah. So do you reckon down the road we might see Championship?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, not for the first couple of shows. Just I want to see how things go. But we definitely have. I'd say tag belts and a main strap. But what it'll look like, don't know. The Christie ring strap or something.
I love it.
I want to do something Cork-wise that isn't too corny with it. Like I remember the boys up in PW had an unbelievable Ulster title. It was the red strap. It was beautiful. I'd love to have something like that, but not a Munster title because that's not Cork. Because any fucker from Kerry or Limerick or Waterford could try and claim that.
Christie Ring Championship.
We'd have like some
Sean O'Gallagher beat tag team championship.
Or the Teddy McCarthy went even closer to me from Glamore. But something Cork guys.
The Shandon Bell.
Shandon Bell. Like you could do that for the tag belts actually. The Shandon Bells.
Shandon Bell.
The Shandon Bells. Yeah, I like that. Here, look, we're brainstoming already, right? I love it.
But the mid card is going to be the English market belt or like something similar to that one. But
it writes itself, this stuff, like once you think about it. But I would like to do like maybe every second month. We booked in the KINO for the 4th of February, right? And I'm definitely going to do somewhere on Good Friday, maybe a little bit bigger than the KINO, because I want that one to be Good Friday to me is, I know it's the anniversary of Phoenix was always in like July, but Good Fridays should be our main one. I think it's a proper piss up in Cork. It has been very good. Every time we've done a show, we've done really well.
Rebel Mania.
There you go.
That's
Is Circus Factory still an option? Is that
I
something?
mean, I wouldn't count it out. Like, I mean, they're putting in new flooring and wooden floors, and they're getting grants, and they're spending big bobs. And the last thing they want is a big dirty wrestling rink, and they're scraping the floor. So we gotta be nice, and we just leave them kind of damage it themselves first. I know we're in contact with them. We're in contact with them just the same as you have with KINO. I think it's lovely to have a couple of venues, and we were just discussing. We won't say it on camera there now, but we were just discussing other options there for potentially bigger shows, because you need that stepping stone. You can't just go from the KINO to the stadium. Like, it's not going to happen. Ideally, I'd love to do somewhere where you have somewhere with 200 or 300 easy capacity and a nice big backstage, and then you can start thinking about bringing back the Scotty Tuhadis or Gold Dust of the world or something like that. You know what I mean?
We threw someone to it. I know this is only changing the game, but look, someone mentioned Marina Marco once upon a time. It's something to look at. But look, obviously, it's potential there as well to do nights and all sorts of stuff.
No, looked at it for Phoenix, and we had initial discussions as well, to be honest with you, and they were all positive. Just obviously things went a little bit differently, but there's a few things in the background that I can pull the trigger on if I want to, but we see how it goes. Steady as she goes for the first one or two shows. The second show, I already have a few things lined up for it, like, so.
Sweet. I see that smile.
So I'll get carried away again. Before I know it, we'll be every 2 weeks, and we'll be fucking in a van. We'll be doing a tour, and you know.
See how fucking Saturday goes first. And he's like,
well, it's just my nature. Like, my biggest weakness, our character flaws. I get too carried away. Like, you know, too excited about wrestling. The inner child is still there. You know what I mean?
It's the full match card now. Everything's
6 matches announced, and we'll have the final of the Grand Prix will be our main event. So there'll be 7 matches. I'll be announcing, and you guys can announce it tomorrow. I'll give you the exclusive. I'll send you the graphic afterwards. We'll do you can announce a match in the family show for me tomorrow, if not 2. We might give away some merch as well if you want to run a competition for tickets for the family show and some merch.
Definitely.
And that's it.
We love it. We're excited. November, it's here. This Saturday, it's here. RCW, RC. That chant would be incredible. RC.
Yeah, I think it was important to get that chant. Because that was one thing I missed. We missed the trick with Phoenix. It was very hard to get people to chant that. It's like, we are Phoenix. It was a little bit too drawn out, and the casual fan would lose interest after the we are. You know what I mean? But RCW is catchy. Like, straight away, it's to the point. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you there, boys.
And it's fair to say as well, look, last of all, we just have to say thanks for Phoenix. Look, we enjoyed it. It was incredible. RCW's here. We're looking forward to it this Saturday. Limited tickets.
Limited standing tickets are available. All seats are gone. And be a good show. Really looking forward to buzzing.
Pretty on, guys. Looking forward to it.
And it's going to be an unreal show. I mean, any show that that you put on, you and the crew backstage, was amazing. And that's not just a fact, Billy. That's a mad fact.
And he's when he's Saviour's. It's you're going to be ringing. So you're normally going to wallop. We always make sure
somebody's landing on his left.
I mean, like
every show somebody lands on him.
Look, no, I'm not going to get a wallop. Don't worry, Billy sorted out with barriers. Billy sorted out with barriers, did you?
Yeah.
No.
Well, see you there, lads.
Looking forward to it, guys. Thanks a million.
Cheers, lads. Thanks a million.
Thank you.